We begin this morning at the U.S. border, where as caravans of migrants inch closer, President Trump says he's finalizing a plan that would require anyone seeking asylum to present him or herself at a legal port of entry instead of anywhere along the border. He also said all immigrants who present themselves for asylum will be held indefinitely in massive tent cities. The president's ordered more than 5,000 active duty U.S. troops to the U.S.-Mexico border and says he's authorized them to use lethal force if migrants throw rocks like they did on the Mexico-Guatemala border. Back here in Billings, Democrats took center stage Thursday night as Senator Jon Tester and U.S. House candidate Kathleen Williams held a rally trying to fire up their base before Tuesday's midterm election.
Here's the deal, folks. How many people have voted? Give yourself a hand. That's good.
Both of the candidates played up the sharp differences between them and their opponents.
Well, I'm going to tell you, unlike every other election I've had, and it's just the way it is this time, myself and my opponent couldn't be further apart on just about every issue. And so I think rural Montana is at stake. And we have challenges with our rural nature that D.C. has to pay attention to, and if there's not somebody back there telling them about it, my concern is we'll get forgotten.
Last night's rally took place as their opponents get ready to welcome some heavy hitters to come out and support their respective campaigns. President Trump will stump for Gianforte and Rosendale Saturday in Belgrade, and Vice President Mike Pence will be in Kalispell to do the same next Monday. Pence's rally will be at the Glacier Park International Airport from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Monday. The most recent poll in the Williams-Gianforte race shows things are tightening up. Gravis Marketing's poll out this week shows the two locked in a dead heat. MTN political analyst Dr. David Parker says the Gravis research shows a large number of independent voters trending to Williams.
It seems to be that a lot of those unknowns are deciding and breaking overwhelmingly for Kathleen Williams. Now, that is important because in reality, unknowns, don't knows tend to break for the incumbent. This is meaningful potentially. If this is going against the norm, if voters are choosing Kathleen Williams, that's a really big problem for Greg Gianforte. And yes, she could win. She could pull out another upset like she did in the primary.
And if elected, Williams would be the first Montana woman to serve in Congress in 77 years. Meanwhile, Republican candidate for Senate Matt Rosendale called it the honor of a lifetime upon receiving the endorsement of the Crow Tribe chairman. But some members of the tribe say that the chairman did not consult the tribe and that he does not speak for all the Crow people. Q2's Connor Pregesser has more from Crow Agency.
On October 28th, Crow Chairman A.J. Not Afraid endorsed Republican candidate for Senate Matt Rosendale in Lewistown on behalf of the Crow Tribe. But now, members of the Crow Tribe are speaking up, saying that the chairman did not have the authority to give this endorsement without first consulting the tribe. Crow legislator Sean Reelbird says that there is a process the chairman would have had to carry out before bestowing an official endorsement from the tribe.
The Crow Tribal Chairman cannot officially endorse Rosendale as a candidate of the Crow Tribe or the elected leadership, and that in order for an official endorsement to occur, that the Crow legislature need to vote on a joint action resolution.
On Thursday, protesters gathered in Crow Agency to voice their concerns with the chairman's action, as well as their support for incumbent Senator Jon Tester. Angela Russell, a former Montana State and Crow Tribe legislator, says that she hopes people understand the issues that Senator Tester has worked with the tribe on in the past and then get out and vote.
So I hope that people will get out and vote and take a look at all the issues that certainly Senator Tester has helped us with.
These protester sentiments were echoed by protest organizer Bethiana Peace, who believes that votes cast in the upcoming election will show the true endorsement of the Crow Tribe.
I guarantee the votes will talk this year. We have satellite election offices that are open Wednesday and Thursday, voting early. We have people picking up absentee ballots. We have people on the ground spreading the word. I mean, this is going to be it. Tester's going to win this.
In Crow Agency, this is Connor Pregetzer, MTN News.
Chairman Not Afraid explained his actions by saying the agenda fits the Crow today to side with the Trump administration and with Matt Rosendale. Elsewhere, a Roosevelt County man is now facing animal cruelty charges after 9 horses were found dead in August near the Fort Peck Reservation. Richard Dean Holen is facing 1 count of aggravated animal cruelty and 5 counts of cruelty to animals. The Roosevelt County Sheriff's Office found the dead horses near Highway 13. Sheriff Jason Frederick said there was plenty of food but no water available for the horses, and dehydration was the cause of death. Court documents indicate that Holen was not the owner of the horses, but had agreed to take care of them. After further investigation, the sheriff actually discovered 15 dead horses. Montana's health leaders are warning about the risks of an increasingly popular type of e-cigarette, especially for youth. According to the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, many school leaders in the state are finding more students using Juul brand e-cigarettes. Many call it juuling rather than vaping. Leaders say Juul is attractive to youth because it's easy to conceal, it looks like a flash drive, and it comes in flavors like mango and fruit melody. DPHHS says Juul pods contain as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. They say young people who use e-cigarettes are 4 times more likely to use conventional tobacco in the future.
Youth that are using these, they're getting exposed to a lot of nicotine, and that gets into the brain within 7 to 10 seconds, and they can easily become addicted to these products. This is alarming to us because of that future risk and the addiction that it poses to our youth.
DPHHS leaders say studies have shown many Juul users don't realize they contain nicotine. Juul company leaders say they are working on initiatives to make sure their product stays out of the hands of minors. Well, for patients with migraines, it's often a waiting game, suffering through debilitating pain while the medication kicks in. Now, researchers in Massachusetts are testing a new patch that could help patients get relief faster with less side effects. Dr. Malika Marshall has more from Watertown.
Glenn Brown has been battling migraines since he was a teenager.
A really bad throbbing headache. A lot of times it's like behind my eyes. Sometimes they're moderate, sometimes they're severe. Between work, house stuff, and the kids, life is busy. So if you have a migraine, you're kind of out of commission.
With 3 or 4 attacks a month, the 49-year-old relies on oral migraine medication, which can take time to work. But then his doctor told him about an experimental patch that could provide relief quicker.
A medication taken in tablet form doesn't really get absorbed well enough or rapidly enough to provide effective headache relief. This is the patch.
Dr. Agilia Spearing shows us how the patch from Zisano Pharma works. The system uses tiny needles coated with medication to deliver a migraine drug right into the bloodstream.
Once the patch is applied to the skin, these microneedles will penetrate the skin, generally not even deep enough to hit the nerve, so it's not a painful procedure, but deep enough to bring the medication into the circulation.
Glenn has been using the patch for 6 months. He says it's providing relief in just 20 to 45 minutes, and he doesn't feel as sluggish.
It makes a huge difference because then you can get back to your day, you can get back to whatever you're doing.
So far, researchers say patients are tolerating the patch system well, and no serious side effects have been reported. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Watertown, Massachusetts.
Currently, about 250 patients are enrolled in the study testing the new patch system.